So it's B-movie time again. This is from 1959 called Web of Suspicion, starring, I think he's called Philip Friend and Susan Beaumont, I think. Uh, and this was written by Brian Clemens, who's kind of best known for probably TV writing and producing on shows like Danger Man, I think, and the Avengers, New Avengers, and the Professionals. And it's a kind of a cheap kind of, but quite pacey kind of B movie. I like my B movies. This is only 61 minutes long, so it flies by. And quite a good story, really. I quite enjoyed this film. Philip Friend, who I think I have seen him before, he's very good in this film. He does put across the kind of put upon innocent party quite well. It's kind of a manhunt kind of crime story, murder story. This teacher, this Philip Friend is a PE teacher, physical education teacher at this school, and this young girl that has a crush on him, he kind of inadvertently walks her way or part of the way home one night, and she ends up being murdered, and he comes under, well, more than suspicion. He ends up running for his life from this kind of lynch mob headed by the girl's father, who's understandably irate, angry, and grief-stricken. And Susan Bowman plays his girlfriend, who is the new art teacher at the school, and she's his only kind of help and only kind of shoulder to kind of cry on, basically, in this film. But I thought Philip Friend was pretty good in this film. Basically, what happens is there's a hunt, a search for this girl, and they don't actually start searching for her until daylight, which I thought was strange. And the whole school and the police and everybody go looking for her, and Philip Friend is the teacher. And they find the body, and then her father's looking for her as well, and he sort of goes a bit insane, and these group of his friends, they all kind of get sticks and a shotgun, actually take shots at Philip Friend, and he legs it, as naturally you would, through the woods. And this is after this, they go back to the school. He gets, I think he goes back to the school, he gets chased back to the school or something, and they try and they corner him, and they kind of throttle him, and they're trying to get him to confess and all this, and he escapes. And then the police are pretty dumb with this film, I have to say. They're pretty one brain cell kind of. They've completely focused on Philip Friend did this, and they're not even interested in this lynch mob that he obviously would be running away from if somebody was taking shots at you. They seem to think that because he ran, it proves that he's guilty, and totally overlook the lynch mob and don't do anything about it. They're more just, they have to catch this killer. So basically, he ends up running through the countryside and the forest, and ends up at this blind man's kind of little kind of bothy, or a wee kind of hut, and he kind of gives him some shelter and some food, which is quite funny because he's only been on the run for about 12 hours, if that, and he's already starving. He's like munching this cheese and drinking this guy's tea and everything as if he hadn't seen food for a week. It's quite funny. I mean, he has only been on the run for a few hours, and by this stage, he's already kind of bedraggled and torn, and his clothes is torn and covered in mud, and it's quite comical in a way. But he eventually kind of ends up at his girlfriend's house, who gives him a bit of shelter and a bit of kind of words of advice. But one flaw with this film is, from the very beginning, I immediately knew who the culprit was, who the real killer was. And I'm not good at doing that. I'm not good at guessing who the killers in films are. But it was pretty obvious, stood out really straight away for me, and there isn't that many suspects, to be fair. But another thing that was quite funny was, like, when he takes off from the school, when the lynch mob are after him, the policemen and the teachers and everybody, they're like, I understand why you're taking off. It's pretty conclusive, the evidence. Well, it's not. It's pretty circumstantial, the evidence against him. People did see him walking the girl home, and they found a school textbook that was linked to him by her body. But I don't know, would that have been enough to convict somebody in 1959? I don't know. It certainly would be pretty tenuous kind of circumstantial evidence, I would think, nowadays. But I enjoyed this film. It was not too bad film to watch at all. As I said, Philip Friend was pretty good in it as a leading man, the innocent party on the run. The first half of the film is kind of the whole incident and how it happens and the hunt to try and find the girl, and then the second half an hour is the manhunt. Um, so yeah, it was not bad a film at all. I thought pretty well acted, and it's badly edited. It's quite a cheap B movie, and it's really badly edited at some stages. It's just where they actually grab him and they're going to rough him up and that looks like it's been really kind of edited with a chainsaw. It's just pretty rough. But yeah, not a bad B movie. Web of Suspicion from 1959. I like my B movies, and this kind of flew by, and it was quite watchable. I thought Philip Friend was pretty good in the lead role. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.